His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Assad is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
You see that? You see that? They are shooting. You see that? You see that? You see what they do? You see what they do? You see what they do?
Yeah. Aí ele para,
You see that? You see what the States are doing? They start shooting out. They start the shooting. You see where they? You see where? They are shooting. You see what they're doing? Yes, that you are. They are shooting. They are shooting. Can you see? Can you see? You see what? Can you see what we see at the door? They are shooting. You see? But here you are shooting on because they're just watching the end of your monobia. You see that? They are shooting. You see the smoke. You see the smoke? They're opening a fire. They are shooting us. I think you see the smoke. They are shooting us. You see that? You see that? They are shooting. You see that? You see that? You see what they're trying to do? You see what they do? You see what they do? You see it? You see that? They will not shoot. You see that? You see what the state are doing? They're shooting on. They've got the flag. The protest.
And why we should go through this rigorous, chaotic, demoralizing, and inexplicable situation after much cogitation on this clandestine and surreptitious footive. He said, and I quote, "I am not a magician. Forgetting words are like egg. Once broken, they are gone. Once spoken, they remain indelible in the heart of man." Come to think of it, do they have the powers, the spiritualism, the abracadabra, the voodoo to perform the magic and as well transmogrifically transmute and transfigurate this ugly, debilitating and exasperating situation? I saw it. The locution, "I am not a magician," in its jocularity in quote 1. 2, the uncircumscribed bluster and in a vituperative ululation. I saw it in their hocus pocus explicandum, explication, elucidation, where we thought the shibboleth was a travesty and a parody to lampoon the masses expected a limousine from the government. After the miserly, the niggardly, the chaser-peering, the penurious, and the parsimonious, that I will say and remind us at this point in time that this is democracy. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Not oligarchy, plutocracy, and aristocracy. The catchword, the byword, the shibboleth, the locution, the conversion, the paroxysm, the spasm are counterintuitively excruciating, malodorous, horrendous, odoriferous, and odorous. But I pray that is so much acclimatized transmogrification, is so much acclimatized transmutation. It's not an act of sarcasm. Could it be that we are heading for better days? Could it be the political Moses that will take us to the promised land? Only on this note will I koto in their poho, or else I will not koto in their poho. Sententious, inarticulate, and uncommunicative on this act of recidivism, which is the verisimilitudinous xenophobic attack on my consanguinities, thinking it is a path to honorificability dignitatis. Honorificability dignitatis is a verbal prolixity, a sesquipedalian word, a state of achieving honors. Yes. You see, the vilification, language, jejun, wobicon, an obstinate conspiracy, melancholy that led to this cartel, nauseous, and miasmatic vituperative attack. This is barbaric and megalomaniacal. My pain is this. But I've refused to act. What a devitalizing, a petrifying, and a desiccating situation. To me, the belligerent, deleterious, cantankerous, and murderous annihilation, decapitation, obliteration, and mutilation of my consanguinity in their milieu is sardonic, opprobrious, malevolent, contumelious, erroneous, lugubrious, and clamorously exasperating.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe, the God who keeps watch over each and every person. He is faithful, so good, so marvelous, so kind, so wonderful, having kept watch over us throughout the night, every night, from Monday to Friday. Yes, he is that and the good God, good God. We are grateful. We can help but bless his holy name. He is the God who holds tomorrow and today, the God who holds yesterday and today, the God who hovers King 88.5. We can get started without acknowledging him. Let's go. Since it is the weekend, we have to pay homage, gratitude by saying thank you for keeping us alive, hovering us with your presence from Monday to Friday. And we know you're going to take us throughout today and tomorrow and Sunday. And then we're back for a full week next week. That's what you are, the God who holds tomorrow. This one, I know who holds tomorrow. I know who holds tomorrow. Nobody but the God Almighty. Thank you for coming on again, all of you great people. We appreciate all of you. We are always inspired by your presence. You are so massive, so extraordinary, so great, so good. Thank you for being with us from Monday to Friday throughout and understanding. Whenever there is a technical problem, you stay understand, you stay with us. Yes, that's what partners are for. Yes, you are. Your friendship is paying off. You're so good, so massive. Thank you. Let's bring on some of you, not all, because the protocol so large. Can you see? Yes. Jonathan Butler from USA. That's Borlor, Borlor, USA. Welcome. Alice T. Johnson, Police Academy, Painesville. Hey, Navarez M., you are on. Great, from Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon or good morning, whatever the time is in your area, but good to have you on. It is my understanding that you are doing well. Thank God Almighty, and say hi to the family on my behalf. Cogway Wheeler, Magibi County, Ralph Cooper, Denver, Colorado, USA, Robin Cannon, Gardnersville, your residents, Ansu family, Yassa Sharif, USA, George Watkins, Solomon Chipo, District 3, Matsumoto County, Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA, Amara Kamara, Brussels, Belgium, Ambassador Walter Morgan, CDC, Regular Intellectual Militant, Saturday Woodaway, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Spencer Muhammad, Cokespoon Hill, Wayne Town, Prince Don Care, Nimba, Yekepal, Malu Fofana, 20th Street, Sinka, Abraham Smart, Kakata, Magibi County, Ezekiel Johnson, Chicken Soup Factory, Augustus Johnson, Boys Town, Ocean View Community, Stephen Yakati, District 2, Lower Magibi County, Stella Bozo, Congress City, Flexible General, Bombing County, Clay District, Harris Sadie, New Georgia, Grace Corner Terrain Community Residents, Emmanuel Queer, Dividend Town, Heron Tito Jr., Carwell, Venetia's Bar, Borough of New Cruton, Claudia de Paul, Rising Sun, Dallas, Texas, USA, Agnes M. Say, Minnesota, USA, Jukonti Chie, Your Business Center, Orita G Club, Joan Momolo, Gale Street Business Center, Usman Saul, same place, Gale Street Business Center, Felix D. Jackson, Logan Town, Abigail Cheeseman, Old Row, Car Watch, all of you great people, to Manning, Gabriel Lawson, Iron Factory, District 18, Your Business Center, Rita Christine Hates, Massachusetts, USA, my dear sister Orita Sunderwood Choir, you are on. Good to have you on. Good to see you. We always inspired by your presence. Thank you for the pieces of advice and everything that you have done and continue to do. God will bless and pay you in return. Thank you so much for being that good and loyal fan of Kings 88.5 in humanity. Well, we can't get started without bringing on the chairman who has just come on. The chairman, Block 13 Intellectual Center, Roman Rico, Kenneth Boy, Latupan for short, the chairman that is impactful, making so much impact in his district, District 18, on behalf of the Congress of Democratic Change. That is well appreciated. That's why I take up the time to give him his accolade. Though we are 4 years away, but he's doing everything innovatively and creatively, and in his limited resource serve to reach out to people with the understanding that though 4 years seem long, but they are just close. And so you have to keep seditions together. And even those who are not within his district, he reaches out to just everybody. Yes, thank you ever so much, the chairman, Diehard Jowian. Yeah, Diehard Sedition. And all of you, thank you for coming on. Great. So let's get started with developments unfolding in Liberia. Then we out for today. Nigerian officials say gunmen belonging to the Islamic Lakurawa group on villages in the northwestern Kebbi state, killing at least 34 people. Survivors described as highly organized. The group, which operates along the Niger border, declared a terrorist war last year, believed to have links to jihadist factions in Mali and Niger. Security forces have launched operations to track down the militants. The attacks have triggered outrage nationwide, with many Nigerians urging stronger action to curb the persistent violence in the region. Islamic police in Nigeria, northern state of Kano, have arrested 9 Muslims for eating publicly on the first day of Ramadan. The detainees, 7 men and 2 women, claim they were unaware Ramadan had begun. Kano, a majority Muslim state, operates Sharia law alongside Nigeria's secular legal system. During Ramadan, the Hizbah, the state Islamic enforcement body, patrols markets and restaurants to ensure Muslims observe the fast from sunrise to sunset. And the AI, or Artificial Intelligence Forum, in India ends today. The 5-day meeting was promoted as the first and largest international meeting on artificial intelligence hosted. Ideas on how to harness the power of AI was discussed, but so too were concerns represented or raised the risks of AI. So what did the 5 days AI or Artificial Intelligence Summit achieve? Here is one of the attendees, Dr. Yushaboko Bryant. He is the head of Google Research Africa.
So the summit has been incredible in terms of the themes and the messaging around AI being all inclusive, meaning everyone, everywhere should have access to it, and that we should be building it responsibly and together. And I think by having that as on the onset, India has shown great leadership in ensuring that narrative comes through. So they say AI, all inclusive, welfare for all. And I think so all the topics are being hit that you discussed, from safety, responsible AI, AI for science and discovery, reaching everyone. So all of those messages are there, and they're being discussed in many, many different forums. It's actually more than 250,000 people attending. It's a massive amount. So it's quite inspiring with that number, plus the very inclusive, practical message around AI. It's been very, really hitting the points that you've mentioned.
This has been billed as the biggest AI summit to be held in the global south, as you mentioned some of the delegates. So I'll ask that question again. This has been billed as one of the biggest artificial intelligence summits to be held in the global south. We also heard from the head of OpenAI, Sam Altman, calling for more regulation of artificial intelligence. You work in Africa. How much is that a concern for you at Google?
Regulation is extremely important for AI, and to get it right, it's too important. It's such a huge transformative technology, and it needs to be beneficial and safe for everyone. So we are very supportive and want to be involved in the processes for helping to shape regulation, and really much agree in that. So that has definitely come out of many of the conversations and dialogues across the panels and so forth at the summit.
Where does Africa sit in terms of its adoption of AI when you look at what's happening in India, in America, Europe? Where does Africa sit on that journey towards the adoption of AI?
I truly believe Africa sits directly at the table. We are innovating. It's got a huge youth dividend that are tech savvy, switched on. I'm coming from Nairobi, Kenya. You can talk about different models and tools that are out there with a lot of the young population there. So Africa sits at the table. A lot of our work from the Google Research Africa team, this is innovations that are happening from Africa, for Africa and the world. We've shown new innovations around weather nowcasting that unlocks more accurate weather forecasts for the continent, launching data sets for languages using speech technology, which with partners. So the continent is right there at the table, and it's too important of a technology to not be at the table, leading, innovating, just like everywhere else is in the world.
You mentioned there some of the tools that you have developed, you and your team have developed there at Google when you look at helping farmers to really produce far bigger yields on the continent. But in terms of how AI can really transform Africa, how it can change society, what is your prediction?
There are, countless ways that are, not some of them you can't even imagine when you think about the young population, and when you mix computing with creative culture and the online energy that's happening. There's so many novel solutions that are coming that you wouldn't necessarily think about. And I think the perspective is, how do we enable them, this next generation and future generations, to leverage this technology in a safe and responsible way, that they can be creative, that they can define their future, and also address some of the challenges and problems that exist within their societies and their context. I think this is what's really, really important about this technology.
Does one of those attending the AI summit that comes to a close today, February 20 in India, Yushaboko Bryant, head of Google Research Africa. Let's focus on developments here, but before then, this one, it's very interesting. I just thought to sound humorous with this, but I almost laugh reading it. But it happens to everybody. Let me not say everybody, but it happens to people. I don't think it is normal, but it happens. Now, the news said Islamic authorities in northern state of Kano, they've arrested 9 Muslims for eating publicly on the first day of Ramadan, the start of Ramadan. The reason they gave, according to the story, They did not know. They weren't aware that Ramadan had begun on the day they were eating. That's interesting. Or so funny, rather. That's the excuse. And no better excuse they could have given. Listen, we beg you, man. We didn't know. Today is the start of Ramadan with us. So had we known, we would not have eaten. We didn't know that Ramadan was starting today. So we beg you, you're sorry, you forgive us. Oh God. Yeah, man. Yeah, you leave the people. They say no other justification or nothing else to say. I think the excuse is germane. Yeah. And if they did anything to them, then the authorities were just being wicked. But they say they forgot. It's natural. Yeah, you can forget. You can hold them responsible. Okay. Let's focus on now what we have on our plate, and then that will be doing it for today. Life, power, money, fame. Did you get that? Life, power, money, fame. All of these, everybody on earth wants. People want position and never live with that jumbo gibberish. I would say, let me describe it this way, that position isn't good. I don't like position. You hear some people will say, oh, me an le position bene, me an here for position. No. What many don't know, you have to have a position to make a change. It is that position that is referred to as title. And the title simply means you are distinct. You have a simple responsibility. Hence, it gives you the authority, the privilege, the opportunity in every other thing to exact change. If you are a human being and you always fend off, or you put on that feeling of avoiding position, listen, you will end up achieving nothing significant. Probably you're just that person that don't look back over your life. Daily, every individual daily should do an inventory. Whether you are a business person, you're in the office, you are a boss, you are deputy boss, you are Yana boy, you are wheelbarrow trader, you are wheelbarrow trader lady, whatever. It is a significant responsibility. It affords you the right to do what you want to do. It's not bad at all. But some people just have this concept, oh, me en la position, me en la position. But those who say they don't like position are the ones who crave within for position. Come to think of it, they not sound normal. Do not be dismissive of it. When you are dismissive of it, it means you don't have that desire, that urge, the drive to make a difference, to engender change. They will make you to think that when you have title, then you will do nothing. When you have a title, it means you have a terrain to make a difference, that at the close of the day, an appraisal will be made. Except you aren't ready to make that difference. That's the only way. But go for it. I just thought to share this with us. Go for it. Don't fend it off. Don't listen to those people who will tell you position are good, me I like position. Look around. Those who tell you that, look at them. They are in their respective positions. They're craving. And when you take people pieces of advice without doing a validation, you soon regret why you listen to such, why you take such person's advice. It's not bad to listen to people. It is not wrong at all to listen to people, but you've got to do your own validation. Somebody can advise you, or they can just make a raw statement. Oh, they want to correct. Oh, what are you doing with that thing? Oh, that position that day. So the people may have their position can, and you just feign off. You might just miss an opportunity to be a good servant. Everybody, there is in you that good servant, that person with everything to make a difference. There where this political maxim came from, or this philosophical maxim. So get in, get it done right, and get out. What you will have or you hear as title is not as the way people will portray it. It simply means a destination. And a destination means a responsibility. And responsibility means service. That word. Simple. Nothing else. When you're using the word title, you are using the word, the technical word is destination. And destination means responsibility. And responsibility is service. So you have a position given to you by the boss. The boss is not elevating you on the position on the basis of the title, but it is your competence to make the difference that the boss looks at, and the boss gives you that responsibility with the expectation of a difference. Except you aren't ready to make any difference, then you flow, you move with the bandwagon. I want position. Me I like position beneath. That is within everybody. It is an instinct within everybody. It is not a bad instinct. It is not a wrong instinct. It only becomes wrong when you refused. Then people get to know that you don't have the capability. Hence, you're using that as a justified excuse, and it is not a justified excuse. Everything boils down to service. Everything we do, what I'm doing right now, is service. But it has a title. The title is a talk show host. That's the title. But what good if I'm not rendering the service? It is because of the service that you people take up your time, your energy, your resources, everything to come on. It's because of the service, not necessarily St. Andrews. That's what it is. So you want to dismiss that, put on that urge, be ready at all times, and do what you can do. Get in, get it done right, and get out. Be like George Weah. That maxim, let's use it in a political context. George Weah epitomizes that political maxim. He got in, he got it done right, and then he's out. Now, at the close of the day, Martin Luther King comes in with this expression. He said, even if you build your house in the wood, W-O-O-D, even if you build your house in the wood, the wall will make a beaten path through your door. Meaning, the wall will carve that wood to get you out to use that expertise or that service that you render previously in another capacity. They will carve you, they will go after you. Just motivate yourself. Don't faint off anything. Don't say, "I'll let position be there." No. Except you are not ready to serve. Just develop that curiosity. Develop that greediness for service. And you're going to see the difference. Not only will you make a difference, but the world will always make a beating path through your door. The world will always come after you. And your life going to change. Your life isn't changed because you imagine. Your life change when you can take on responsibility and you do it, as we say in Liberian term, to the best of your ability. Martin Luther King, in one of his public addresses, one of his motivational talks, he said, "Whether you win or you fail, be the best of whatever you are. Render service to the best of your ability, even if the odds are working against you. Just do. And you're going to see. Motivate yourself. Don't fend off anything positive. Come out of the urge to render service, to do wherever you are, in that office, at that business center, whatever you're doing, whatever is given to you, embrace it and be ready to do. Don't say, "I don't have the ability." Don't say, "I don't like position business." No, there is nothing called title. What you see as title, it simply means designation, meaning service of difference. Now, if you listen to, where is my guy? If you listen to the acknowledgement, the accolade given to former President George Weah, you will hear the guy use a word, difference. Now you want to look up the word and hear what it means, what I'm explaining to you. You say the difference.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region.
Get ready.
And this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy, 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 and the defense of democracy.
You know what that means? When you have a position, the change that you make, the difference that you bring, one, and then the difference, many with deep-rooted humility, even when the odds are against you. The reason they exerted that word in their accolade to former President Weah, what they saw, the trials, the temptations, and every other things, all of the odds, yet he remained steadfast in doing what he had promised the people of Liberia. That's why they inserted that word. There is a difference between difference and difference. The two are not the same. Listen to the pronunciation. Difference and difference. You do, when you have a position or a responsibility, most people will look at the difference, meaning how you cope with the environment, the humility, what comes from your boss, how your boss talks to you, or if the boss doesn't talk to you, your colleagues, and every other stuff. It helps you to achieve your goal. With that, Martin Luther King said, even if he builds his house in the wood, W-O-O-D, the wall will go there, carve the wood, and get that person out to come and show a difference, or a difference and difference. Don't fan off, don't shun off position. No, our culture, we have to graduate from certain things. Just like people will tell you, don't do this. Hey, don't do that. But the same people who tell you not to are the same ones who. The pastor will tell the congregation, oh, you can't do that, you can't dress like that, and God business, and serving God, you don't gotta. But the same pastor who telling you not to, you see the car the pastor riding. You see the kind of suit on the pastor. Yet, the same person who will tell you on the other side, a friend, oh, bye, now do good to do the one, oh, bye, you can't wear. You go see the same friend in an extraordinary position. And many of you have regretted. Many of you, seeing your colleagues, have said, oh, so all that things she was talking, so she was just fooling people. She didn't want the people, she now wanted us to look good. Look at how she's looking. Many of you have confessed that way. The same way they will advise you to not exert yourself in life because they want you to be begging them all of the time that you shouldn't be independent. But you have to exert yourself. So don't fend off anything like, I don't want to be this and I like that. People who say that, they never. And listen, society pushes such person or people aside. Don't ever attempt that. All right, with that weekend piece of advice, let's move into this. Yomlikanga Lawrence, political leader of Liberty Party that was nonentity, practically non-existent for several years. The man on which everything Liberty Party rests died. Yomlikanga Lawrence, whatever the arrangement politically or structurally, emerged as the takeover head. Still, they could not resurrect the party. They could not resuscitate the party in any given way. Things were hard. The little money they had, they were managing. Things were very, very difficult for Yomlikanga Lawrence, Darius Dillon, and the other Unity Party people. To find a way out, they sold Liberty Party to one of the richest men in Liberia, Representative Musa Bility. They sold Liberty Party by document to Bility because they needed money. Things weren't working for them personally and institutionally. Musa Bility became the chairman of the party. They sold the party to him. The clips are here. When they start getting $1 or $2, then they start acting like they did not sell the party. As usual, Dillon will come on, they will send him to test the ground. So in one of his public addresses, he went on the radio and said the party was not sold. All kinds of things he was saying. Ability stood his ground. But the emphasis is not on ability. The emphasis is on the change of life. People will have desire. You will not know until they start having money. But when they see their colleagues excelling, they become so critical. What I have known of Pro Tem Yomlikanga Lawrence, that power instinct, she had always wanted to excel, which isn't bad at all. It's not bad. The same thing I just talked about briefly about position. It's not bad to excel. It's not wrong to have a desire. She had always wanted to move from one level to another politically. So she is now the pro tem. Things that she could not do when she was in opposition, she's doing now. There's the building on UL campus in her name. They say the law brothers or what a law school student, whichever way, the nomenclature that's it, law. They put it in her name. Several things, when that came out and she went there, they did what they could do. I started to ponder. One, life can change at any time. Yes, that's true. Two, everyone has a desire, that burning desire to get attention on him or her. But when the factors are not unfolding themselves, you wouldn't see. Everyone loves praise. Everyone loves attention. A person who will tell you he or she doesn't love attention, then that person isn't significant on earth. Every significant person, every person who is doing significant things, love attention because of what the person does. There's no wrong with that. But the pro tem had zero impact nationally in opposition. She had zero impact. You help me out here. What I'm telling you, how the people, Unity Party people, and everybody associated with Unity Party people, the same thing they were saying yesterday that former President Weah and his officials were lavishing the country money. You see the same thing today. I am telling you about lavishing. Yomlikanga Lawrence was in opposition. When last she ever attempted anything nationally yet? Nothing. She was just gallivanting around or in the corridor of CPP. There where they were making their noise. What did she do? Did she put a single thing in the ground in opposition to get a national recognition that people will look at and say, this woman, with the desire she has, I believe if she excels, she will do more. This country does not have anything. I challenge all the people around her, all the women of this country. Fast forward, Yomlikanga Lawrence is now the pro tem in a government that is loose financially, no accountability, no transparency whatsoever, widespread corruption all over the place. This government is not checking on anything whatsoever. If anybody would think that this government has its grip on corruption, then you should be brain dead. This government this government is 10 times, just as John Molu said of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government when he was the GAC boss. This government, Unity Party government, is 10 times corrupt than any government since this country became a sovereign state. There is no grip on. The government has not, and it will not tighten its grip on corruption. This is a free flow. Free flow. I can tell you the millions that they have collected and placed in different areas, waiting for a time, and even they have started to use some of those millions. Who is checking on who? Almost all of the ministrates, that free flow ministers are enjoying themselves. The pro tem now has a building in her name. In opposition, nationally, zero impact. Pro tem, as pro tem, zero impact nationally. The only reason that the people come to name a building in her honor because she is not only the pro tem, but she sits over millions of dollars. And nobody can tell, or nobody can convince her that she did not put money in that building. If money came from other sources, she must have put 80 to 85%. That I am convinced, because I know this country have people worship people who get money. What is the impact of Yomlikanga Lawrence? That you will name a building of that in her honor, the building named after her. You know why people name buildings after people? Not only for historical purpose, but the impact that person made, so that others come and know about that history, because the history will be there, and they will see, they will read, they will talk about it, they will intellectualize it in their various places and say, great, but then this woman must have been this woman was so great. They discuss the impact. They never discuss finance. Everywhere, this thing I'm telling you, go all around the world. They don't discuss the money, they discuss the impact of that person. It becomes a college to learn. What has been Yomlikanga Lawrence's impact in this country? In opposition, zero. Zero impact. Pro tem, zero impact. The only reason they named that building after her, because she must have pumped some of the money there. History helps us with our reasoning. You want to look back. That's how it is done. You want to look back over the person's life and say, well, when this person was this, or in this year, from this time to this time, the person didn't do much, but this is the impact. This person did this, the person did that. So what we see before us is not a strange thing. That's how the person is. Now, who can say that former President Weah didn't? Because from the very first day he was in his life in opposition, before becoming an opposition person, his handprint, footprint, nail print was all over. It was based on that how they call him, David Coty. He saw it as a means to get money. His intent wasn't bad, because it was on impact. Given what former President Weah, at that time he wasn't an opposition person, his impact in this country, institutionally, individually. And then when he became an opposition person. So if people came and say, we're naming this in honor of former President George Weah, nobody would doubt. They say, but that man did so much. He did so much before he became president. Everybody, 99.9% of the people in this country, they know about George Weah impact before he became president. And that is why he's discussed all over the world, not in negative context, but positive. They discuss his impact. Anybody, I bet you, if you just went out of this country to do a survey, you nine out of every 10 persons you will speak to, they will tell you they want to come to Liberia to build monument, to build thing in honor of George Weah, his name be on it. But that the man himself, he didn't get time for all of those things. It's not about him. It's about everything you see people referencing George Weah is based on its impact. That don't people in your local, when people name me building in their honor, they doing it. They use people know that nobody argue say, oh yes, but that's true. That's true. Yomli Kanga Lawrence, it's only because she pro tem. Did Yomli Kanga Lawrence look at anybody in opposition and get them 500 US, 1,000 US, 3,000 US? No. Because they were broke them. Couple of days ago, the baby comedian, Melvin, they were at Dillon's office. He gave 1,000 United States dollars. In the past, Dillon could give 500 US? No. We say it with every fact because we saw them in opposition. Today, they set over millions of dollars. They're lavishing the country's money. They're taking accolades onto themselves. She had zero national impact before being pro tem, and even now. But because she has the money, so they say they name it in her honor. That's what we call political patronage. Patronage politics. The patron is the sponsor, and you have to reciprocate. That's the doctrine of reciprocity you saw over there. She pumped in more money. The master pumped in more money. So we have to reciprocate. We have to tell the master thank you by leaving or creating a legacy. We name the building in your honor. Why she couldn't do it in opposition? What I'm telling you is the same way yesterday they were condemning CDC officials. You see the same thing? They're lavishing the country's money. Does she deserve that? No. It's only because she is the pro tem, sets over millions of dollars. That is why they don't want that place, the legislature, to be audited. Because she's one of the richest persons in Liberia right now. They name the place after her. Pathetic. You don't need that. You don't need. You came out of poverty. You're rich now. But anyway, those are signs that you should know going into 2029. Those are signs. Before I get to the second and last pointer, let me just go. That will be the last. So just get you motivated. Today is Friday, not much. So the political game is being played. Unity Party has a plan. That plan was designed long ago, and part of the plan, if not entirely, that CDC is a force. George Weah commands 85 to 90% of the population of this country. He's popular. His fame hasn't dwindled. He is the only force of all the opposition people. Moreover, he has around him men who from day one have challenged and stay challenging Unity Party. The game plan is silence George Weah completely by breaking his wings, almost all the people around him. Prior to getting in 2026, we've been talking about the signs because we see those signs. We've been hearing some conversations. We've been privy to see some plans from their own people against George Weah with the intent that his party would not have that strength and voice. By the time we finish with all the people around him, he will be weakened and there will be no strength, no voice to move. The game plan is, you leave George Weah, we will not go after him now. What we'll do, he has loudmouth people. He has people who are still making noise, and they have, we have issues with them. Since they served in their government and they have some things, now we will use those things against them. Remember now, the Justice Minister was on their platform last year, and this question was asked, why is he wasting time to go after former government officials and every other thing? And he tried explaining, just as Teacher Lai told us that the law is about reasoning, he tried allowing them to see reason the same way. But they could not give him chance on the show. You could sense that we've already fixed on this. Mr. Justice Minister, you either do as we want you to do. We understand that you are a lawyer. Hence, this is not so much about the law, but about politics. So they kept on pressing him. He was constrained to say that he can go about just arresting people and taking them to court and carrying them to jail. That's how he quieted that whole something on their show. The record there, then delete it, yeah. That conversation stayed there. He told them that as Justice Minister, I cannot go and just start arresting people, taking them to court from them. We just carry them to jail and lock them up. They exposed themselves that let's do something. Let's start from 2026, 2027. Let's start breaking that George Weah may win. Everybody that around him that we have evidence on them of alleged corruption, we will pursue it to the letter. And nothing else but to send them to jail. By the time we finish with all the people around George Weah, he will have nobody to be standing with him or anything 2029. I came across this piece, and I think Philbert Brown is sending a simple message to the former president and everybody around him. Unity Party, devilish intent. Why it is true that to some extent Philbert Brown leans in their direction and at the same time portraying neutrality. But what I do know and I trust of Philbert Brown, he is a security person. He's been in the security sector for a very long time. He is a veteran. Information from the presidency, outside the presidency, inside the presidency, he knows. He is privy to those kinds of information. So I do not doubt everything that he comes up with. There are some things that I disagree with. There are some we analyze, you can see. Here is what he sent out. Listen carefully. You can tell from what he said, the latest piece that he has written is all about politics. It's all about politics. And let's fire at George Weah people. Since we have one of his big features in our net, in Samuel Tuer, that's good. We're not going to play low on this thing. We will pursue it to the letter and get him to jail. When we're done with that, we will shift to the other side. That's Unity Party game plan. Oh, remember they said when we get in 2026, going to 2027, it will not be easy. And they didn't hide it. They said it. So if you didn't hear, well, you have to open your eyes, open your ears, and be in this wall of information that we have. This is purely political. Purely. Fabian Brand just started to explain the political side and say, look, you guys with tribal, I don't think you guys can get to George Weah as the way you think. But your strategy, I have sensed the bits and pieces I've gotten from within. Let's hook some of his big features and medium-sized features and all the people, then he will be weak. Because he will have nobody strong around him. You can tell from the right out that everything, politics, the brush aside, the legal aspect. Say, oh, come on, let me in our dragnet. Okay, we get a court. No problem. In the court, we politicize the court. We have our George there. George, how do you call him? Roosevelt Willie, eh? Yeah, George Roosevelt Willie. Roosevelt Willie is Unity Party person. Don't mind that thing there. The Chief Justice, yeah. Everybody, the president appoints. A president does not appoint you in African setting. Business of qualification. Though the qualification is there, but it's interest. You have to have interest. You have to have relationship. So you lead that thing. There's no neutrality in this world. God who created all of us, God and Tessa. I want you to listen to his latest piece using the law, the 48 laws of power. Here is it. His usual caption, just as I have my caption, Weah returns to the presidency 2029. He has this caption, from where I sit, and it's good. You need to have a caption. That's what they call a niche. Society should know you for something. Yeah, your brain. So he said, from where I sit. Yes, his caption. Power play. Samuel Tuer's fall. Jail term awaits. A lesson in the 48 laws of power. He started. In the game of power, the rules are simple. Win at all costs. Win at all costs. As Robert Greene's 48 laws of power dictate, never outshine the master. Law 1. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Law 6. And crush your enemy totally. And crush your enemy totally. Law 15. These laws are the guiding principles of politics. And Samuel Tuer, former Minister of Finance under the CDC-led government, is learning them the hard way. Power is a game of strategy, manipulation, and survival. Those who play it must be willing to do whatever it takes to win. As Law 1 of the 48 laws of power states, never outshine the master. Samuel Tuer, former Minister of Finance under the CDC-led government, may have forgotten this rule. Samuel Twe is a brilliant economist who served as Minister of Finance during the Weah administration. He's known for his mystery of bread and butter, issues that resonate with ordinary Liberians. However, his outspoken nature and public disputes with the Unity Party have made him a target. I should go back on that paragraph. Listen carefully. He's not against Twe. He's only saying, or to say, look, let me send out this piece of advice. These guys in Unity Party, they finish planning anything. Everything that's happening with Twe and the rest of the people is not so much about the law, it's politics. This game plan is, we'll hook this man there, make sure they don't have space, because these guys are so strong. If we just allow them to flow 2028, they're going to outshine us, as evident by what you hear them say. Let me go to that paragraph again. Samuel Twe is a brilliant economist who served as Minister of Finance during the Weah administration. He's known for his mastery of bread and butter, issues that resonate with ordinary Liberians. However, his outspoken nature and public disputes with Unity Party have made him a target. In the game of power, loyalty is a weakness. The Unity Party is determined to render the CDC toothless. Did you get that? The Unity Party, or back to that paragraph from the beginning, in the game, he said, in the game of power, loyalty is a weakness. The Unity Party is determined to render the CDC toothless by taking down key figures like Twe. He's become the low-hanging fruit in their quest for power. He becomes the low-hanging fruit in their quest for power. Low-hanging fruit, a political term for, just look at when you have your tree. You just walk to it. You don't have to claim. You don't have to use stick. You don't have to use anything extra than your hand. You just grab it. By taking down key figures like Twe, he's become the low-hanging fruit in their quest for power. In their quest for power is a reference to Unity Party, to hold on in their quest for power. He goes to the next law. Law 15 states, crush your enemy totally. Crush your enemy totally. Law 15 in the 48 laws of power. Philbert Brown says, crush your enemy totally. That's what it means. That's what it states. Crush your enemy totally, meaning have no mercy on your enemy. The Unity Party, Philbert Brown goes on to say in his hint to the CDC in opposition, the Unity Party is leaving no stone unturned to ensure a resounding victory in 2029. Let me read this again. The Unity Party, according to Philbert Brown, is leaving no stone unturned to ensure a resounding victory in 2029. Twe's fate, he said, is sealed regardless of guilt or innocence. Meaning, whether the court found no evidence to indict Twe, or there is evidence, as far as Unity Party is concerned, he will go to jail according to Faber Brown, what he had been observing from within Unity Power. I told you Faber Brown had been, besides a journalist, he had been a security person several years, I think, before he even became a media person. So every sector of the security, he knows. Getting information is as easy for him as drinking water. But he isn't the type that talks almost every day like you hear of other people. He doesn't brag. He doesn't rant. He doesn't boast. But he uses his connections close and far to get the information, and he validates those information, and then he comes out to give a hint. This piece he has written to say, CDC, you be careful. This thing is not about law. This thing, the people just want a victory that will not have any problem whatsoever. Nobody will get a hard time. There will be no competition. So right now, they're making sure that they get rid of almost everybody who are strong around George Weah. By the time they finish with everything as per their game plan, George Weah will just be there, he alone. And once he is standing alone, he can do nothing. That's the hint he gave in his right hour I am sharing with you. It doesn't say that he's absolute. It doesn't say that he's 100% right. No, you can disagree with him. You can have a private information. But this is what he is saying. Twice fate is sealed, regardless of guilt or innocence. Twice membership in the national security. Twice membership in the National Security Council is a mere technicality, meaning the government knows as Minister of Finance, the argument proffered by the legal team of TWE that as a minister, he is a member. They said, no, that's not true. He can. Faber Brown is saying, oh, come on. It's true. We've known the law year in, year out, government after government. But right now, it's a mere technicality because the government not saying it that way because their mind is fixed to throw this man in jail. Because he's one of the strong backbones of George Weah, who is the prime target. He goes on to say, the Unity Party government won't hesitate. The Unity Party government won't hesitate to exploit any perceived weakness to further their agenda. The Unity Party government won't hesitate to exploit any perceived weakness to further their agenda. It's all about maintaining power. It's all about maintaining power. Word for word, I'm sharing it with you word for word. These are his words. It's all about maintaining power. As Law 28 says, he goes to the next law. As Law 28 says, enter action with boldness. Enter action with boldness. The Unity Party is boldly pursuing its goals, and TWE is in their crosshairs. The Unity Party is boldly pursuing its goals, and TWE is their crosshairs. He should have kept a low profile. He should have kept a low profile. In the power game, fairness and justice are irrelevant. In the power game, fairness and justice are irrelevant. It's survival of the fittest. Samuel TWE's experience should have taught him when he talk and when to keep quiet. Law 33 warns, discover each man's thumb screw. Discover each man's thumb screw. The Unity Party government has found TWE's weakness and is exploiting it. The Unity Party government has found TWE's weakness and is exploiting it. He's become a pawn. He's become a pawn in their power struggle. Tua's fate serves as a reminder that in politics, power is the only currency that matters. Those who grasp it tightly will stop at nothing to keep it. Those who grasp it tightly will stop at nothing to keep it. The Unity Party government will do whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power. The Unity Party government will do whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power. The Unity Party government will do whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power, according to Philbert Brown. They say, what I can say is a hint to a wise, eh? So he's convinced that every other thing that is happening, it's not so much of the law, though the legal implication is there, but it is overridden by the politics. It is overshadowed by the politics. When we do something, they joy we are men, he gets strong men. The men they can talk, the men they know something. Your favorite brand, he said Tua's experience should have taught him when to talk and when to keep quiet. That's what he said. Even though you can subject a person to speaking at a certain time and not speaking at a certain time. But that is his opinion based on the bits and pieces of information he got from within the executive mansion corridor. So he ended by saying the Unity Party government will do whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power. Yesterday, did we not talk about or reminded ourselves of what the chairman said? The Unity Party will stay in power for 300 years. And then the other Unity Party officials say the president will stay there for 12 years. And then it goes to the vice president, Jeremiah Cohn. He will reign for 12 years. Then it goes to regime speaker, Richard Cohn, 12 years. Thereafter, it goes to deputy speaker, Thomas Fowler, who will become president of Liberia for 12 years. From there, it goes to Yombli Kanga Lawrence. She will reign for 12 years. So they did their calculation. It came up to 200 years. Just like the True Wind Party was in power in this country, 200 years in Liberia. Just dirty, stink, nasty, nothing to show of a country. So they won the 200 years. And to break the True Wind Party record. So what the man did not say anything different from what we've been saying over the time. He's just refreshing it that the target is, come on, George Weah. So they can get to George Weah readily. So they're moving. Now, what they're doing, they set the 24th of this month for the hearing into whether the Assets Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force requests for a subpoena or to turn over documents on Cloud Hope Foundation or not. It said it was set for the 10th. What happened? What didn't happen? They sent it to the 24th. Philbert Brown is only saying the opposition is the prime target, and that opposition is George Weah. That Unity Party would not sit and allow former President Weah to come back to power. They would serve their 2 terms and go beyond 2 terms. They would not have that in their history of one-term president or one-term party, as CDC goals in the history of Liberia. Simply put, he's saying the Congress for Democratic Change have to be far-sighted, be proactive. It is not so much about law. It's about political indictment to weaken. That's why he kept on using the various laws on power in the 48 laws of power. And he ended by saying the Unity Party government will do whatever, that's the key word, whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power. Whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power. So they will do anything, they will do whatever they can, even if they use the military might. If it would mean they use the military might, they will use it. If it means they go this way, they will.
You see that? You see that? They are shooting. You see that? You see that? You see what they do?
If it will mean they use everything, and we saw in public day, they did not hide it. You saw the new guns, all different kinds of sophisticated weapons they brought outside. You know what they were sending across? Y'all be careful. Y'all think we'll sit down here, George Weah come out of power. We use everything against George Weah. If it would mean we bring the military outside, anybody will obtain food to say, you're saying, oh, the election was not fair. You will not know how you lost. And we stay, the international community, when they say, for the sake of peace, in the spirit of peace and reconciliation, you're leaving. And then we stay, we in power. That the 200 years, when the people, you see the people bragging, that's the same thing Philip Brown is handing across. I like how he ended. He said, Unity Party government will do whatever it takes to maintain its grip on power. So, man, similar saying, all the things that you see happening, that's the game plan. Let's stifle all of those people. Let's break. We are win everywhere. Let's intimidate them. So we'll continue to stay on. We enjoy this country. We get ourselves rich. We enjoy ourselves. We stay there for 200 years. Well, I hope nobody dies. Let everybody live to see the 200 years. I mean, the Unity Party people. Me, I don't think I'm going to live for 200 years. But those who say they will reign for 200 years, it means that they know their fate. They already seal their own fate. They have control over their fate. So they will live for 200 years, even more than Methuselah and the rest of the people. So the party will reign for 200 years. They will live for 350 years, 450 years, 590 years, just how the people were living in the days of old. That's what they have told us, that they will live up to those years and they will continue to enjoy the country and do whatever they can. So they shouldn't die, but they're not going to die because they say they can die. They can die. Then let's go this way. Just a caution on this one. We will need every one of you, Seditians, please. If you haven't shown that support, but you have always shown that human support, you are noted for that. We need you to demonstrate that tomorrow. Former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Joe Howard Taylor's son, funeral service at Bethel Intercontinental Church. It will take place at Bethel Intercontinental Church, Congo Town, Congo Town, Congo Town, Congo Town, Congo Town. Yes, yes. There were the funeral service will take place. The body was in Barnesville area today. And tomorrow is the funeral service. We need all of you seditionists to be there. You want to show up even though the party's hierarchy has made it clear that it will be represented. The party hierarchy announced that it will be represented at the funeral. But you have always known to be the masses because of your love, your humanness, your concern, your dedication, commitment to your standard bearer and your party. That's why you have always show out whenever you are needed. We need you at the funeral tomorrow. The hierarchy will be there, but where you also need to be around to give her that boost, that comfort. No doubt, former President George Weah, your standard bearer, will be at the funeral tomorrow. I do not have his itinerary. I do not. I'm not saying this with absolute fact, but I know that given the closeness, the bond of friendship, the political relationship they had over the 6 years, they are good friends, brother and sister. They serve their country. They have between them this covalent bond. So I have no reason to tell you that the former president wouldn't be there. I do not have his schedule, but given the relationship between Joe Howard Taylor and the former president and the former president's human nature, he's going to be there. He's going to attend the funeral to give his last respect to his former vice president, only son. You want to be around? You will not have to get into the church. We don't know how the protocol looks like, but you want to be around there just to say, Mama, we are with you. We are standing with you. We are here to comfort you in the midst of all. We here to say sorry. We're here to stand with you. Wherever you are on tomorrow, seditions, just show up. Show up like you usually do. Show up. The funeral will be at Harvest Intercontinental in Congo Town. With that now, let's read a few comments. Then we get to the line. Victoria Adi writes, Unity Party should know that Twe is just one person out of the thousands of seditions, right? The person that will rise up against them is there. They are focusing on the top members of CDC, but someone in CDC will defy them. In Cypher 1, Victoria Ade. Tobasi, if you do that, you violate the former WEA officials. What happens tomorrow if the other side comes to power? Who's that guy? Matthew Choloplay, Liberian people themselves can allow those useless politicians to use them just because of money. William K. Sumawolo, good to see you. It's been a while. Hope that you are faring well. Let's go to the line. But before then, where are our guy? Okay, let's go. Almost time. Let's go. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 98 0375. That's the numbers. Those are the numbers. Let's go. You want to go straight to the point. Don't stay long on the line. I can take as many of you in a very short time. Just go straight to the point. Make sure you cut your phone off before. Hello. Or your radio, rather. Your radio. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, you are on the air.
Listen to I let all of you. I don't know you, man. What I mean. It's just so that everything I want them to is coming to fight, is coming to life. A lot of people, it's happening for everybody. In the way to somebody today, somebody else will do more than what is doing. And so the solution for this camp of war, kind of know that they one of the person to the state, and everybody not to the state. So that the war at the day, everybody carry on the war at the war.
Okay, Chief, your line not too clear. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Then, the way you see, if you always allow people to beat your children in the community, even though they say guru to bacha, but you're making your people to make your children to low vulnerable. Every time they will have meeting against you. When you're talking there, I heard last name, therefore they are on screen. And after the night, as I sitting near the radio, I too frustrated. My heart there goes so my way, yeah. This man, yeah, he said, they got no trouble, do something, quality, get too much on your one life. Togo, okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Andrews, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call from a Popo Kono, now to White Town community. Mr. Andrews, thank you very much. Mr. Andrews, as I start and listen to your radio and listen to the reading of that information from Philip Brown, many things begin to go through my mind. Such as, look, TDC is a party that has men, that have people who are very, very much educated and very industrial. So by you hunting or perceived going after 12, that will not break CDC down. In my mind, they will be living in illusion, and if they think that way, they'll be making the biggest mistake. And in my mind, it's a 12 did not do anything wrong. 12 said he used the money. So this is where the national security will be exposed when they get to court. So even if they decide to put it in jail, that will not be the end of CDC. CDC are men will come, men will go, and men will always rise to fight for the cause of the people. President we know you are preparing behind the scene, but your preparation will not be like how Unity Party terrorize this country. Let's be mature, let's be organized, let's keep that party feet to the fire. Till 2029, we put the gangster out of power. Thank you very much for always giving us the opportunity to make our voice on national issue. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Roba, calling from Johnson V. Andrew, thank you very much. The tea that is just ready now. Sanju are calling our leader then. The thing that is talking is not last one who are market women who go into bar. We can listen to the people there. When they can be talking to the people there. That they want to break your we are winning to arrest all the officials around to put them to jail. But they will now that one thing you will arrest everybody that you will arrest and you run you beating the country resources, all the government in the country. You will arrest and they will send them with 4 hands. So according all the business, the President we are and the officials that are around, they listen to me. President we are says he want to save peace. Tell this time and tell on us so can put strong men to be political leader because we're going to that election to protect our fire. The call for the air federal phone is whatever that phone is should pay off. They will pay off, but you never with this. We will make sure that you leave the country then you come back to power. Because we will not stay here to go back to a year. That the one that we see here, they saw my our country, they some a few guys from America, they say yeah, they will be in power, they will start for the nation yet. We will not stay there. So when they listen to me, President, we want peace. Jack and what's that? Thank you very much.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. St. Andrew.
Good evening, sir. Good afternoon. Anyone?
Okay, yeah, something like that. This is Emmanuel Sono, and I'm calling from Bannersville. Well, I'm sitting down listening to your show very keenly, and I heard you saying that CDC has men. Where were those men? Even up to present, those guys that cannot turn the numbers that George we have in his possession to vote. Why are you people keep fooling this man for coming back to the presidency?
And listen now.
Hello, let me learn. People like you and that of boss here, you guys kept fooling the former president for his coming back.
Okay, so let me talk my own too now. We're conversing you from Unity Party or not cut you off. So why your Unity Party keep fooling Joseph Yema Boaga that he will stay there 2029, he will win 2029?
Yeah, because of what he's doing. But
yeah, so that now if you need. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Abraham D can say back on Lion. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to tell you, brother, that when you need power, you will say all kinds of things to make people to say, oh yeah, the people there, they got to vote. But one thing I know when election starts, there is no one telling us everybody that pass out. So I think the people talking, I feel all speed. They say going on. So the people when not believe what the people saying that they will stay in power. No, they care on us. They for special party, but I need to be waiting on it. Except the one who got saying that agreement, they said they will come to that cell when the time reach to let us the new president.
The boss say the president say well, they say the presidential chair, their new rating on it or JMB. So JMB will stay there forever and ever.
They make it for I made a tell and go. Or Papa tell and go. We Papa that Papa
all right, Chief. All right, your line cracking. Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, fine.
My name is Abraham Markov of Christian Police. Thank you for the show. Yeah, I listen to what you are here and I follow the definition of democracy, and we say we have democracy. So democracy should be for the people. Everything about the people. So that's why I work in the interest of the people according to the brand. Everything work in the interest of the people. Why will you be going against it because you work in the interest of the people? And if the law of laws of power of those who practice democracy, why do they support those who practice the laws of power against their opponents? Like what is happening in this country? We have a then American ambassador lambasting here everything politics because the right thing are being done for the citizens of the country and they don't want to eat that way. So why is it that today they are bossing people, children, bots, and all things that go wrong, they are not speaking why? Then they shooting that well in Lima there. We are not hearing anything from them. So that old man who call is saying that Joseph Bola doing things. The thing that Joseph Bola is doing is the wrong thing that they're bossing both children, bots. People are allegedly putting here and declaring this, going against the law and putting people in jail for nothing and lying on this, that the brain capital, what he has to do, are you asking of the security? And so many other wrong things they are doing to this country, lying to them every day, and they can be establishing war code, they can say war code. They say not talking about what you don't want to do. They roll our job, we are building, they roll whether they want to take it to be their glory, to be talking about things that are happening. Yeah, they are way having a banner. They're not doing anything about it now. So what is Jonathan doing? And to keep giving up about the wrong thing. Thank you for the show. I think it is too aggravating.
Hello?
Welcome, Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Jefferson Slava calling from the Virgin Speaker District, District number 11. Yeah, thank you for the show this afternoon, and I want to remind the party people, let them pray that their president will end the successful, their prayers will be, let Baga be able to be strong and end it successfully before they talk about 200 years. What thing they are doing for the Liberian people? To kill all around here, I will come and get 12 year where? Let them pray for 10 years first. We're talking about 12 years. That your program will make people to change for you, but you're not doing anything. You're not proving anything to us. We are for the 2 years. Then you say you will force the same power. Put yourself on your family, not in the power. Thank you.
Hello.
I want to know the Sam Andrew. This is the voice of Mark L. Johnson, the Vice Chair for Operation of the CDC COP. Andrew, let me say this to the party chairman of the party, Reverend Luther Tappe. You are daydreaming by thinking that, oh yes, we'll wait in 2029. 2029, the party can never get back to power. The CDC, the one that come back to power, President George Manawea will be returning to the presidency in 2029. No. Tell my people to say, oh yes, your weekly election will put Joseph Nimabaga back into presidency. There will be no president. 2029. Even Gregor Como, the chief of staff said, we're not even be able to save the Joseph Nimabaga. There will be no president in the Republic of Liberia. Thank you for having me on the line.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Andrew.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling from Freeway Drive. I'm Joseph UK. Thank you for the topic on our discussion. I want to conscientize the people of Unity Party or the entire party that is called Unity Party. I want to let them know that Liberia is not belonging to one person. The Southern year 133 years, people took over this nation. Let them ask themselves those people. And what is behind them now today? What is behind them today? What is stigma that you see on them? That people don't want to hear about them. So if Bwaka is repeating such a character for remembering, to remind the Liberian people that what the True Red Party did in the past 133 years that brought civil unrest in this nation. And they brought lies and brought all kinds of things against those that do that. And they diverted into travel war. Let them Bwaka take comment off. So if you stand for democracy, let him sit down and imagine the past and think of the present also. We are praying to get on path. We are not fighting this nation. And also that when you see peace, or when there is peace, also be prepared for war. I want to let them know that while we are enjoying the peace, we also prepare for war. While we are preparing for war, we also prepare for peace. So Bwaka should have this thing at the back of his mind. Thank you for affording me the platform.
Hello.
Hello, Sir.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Dennis Terrio calling from Curious Speech. So, I want to ask a question before I go further. But I take your point, so to become president in this country, or the citizen is letting him a president. Let's move on. So, they say, they want that one, but I go for 2 more years. Maybe you will get everybody in the cell, and then you say, yeah, I win. The African leader, the way you say, oh, from today I win, what balance? Maybe that Bwaka would do it. But we will not sit down. There's the kind of thing happening in our country, people dying. Every day, everybody friends with their friend. That kind of thing will look at and say, what's up, become president for 2029? There will be another war. Piece of war will be in the country. That's what the woman is going to do. Thank you for the show.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Semanju.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm a bad generally. I got that Bogoko off. This is the voice of Tabu Rasta. I joined the show for 0.4 to be spectacle of you for Zimbabwe. Look, Semanju, I enjoy you. Look, what the people, sometimes people in my years see people say, oh, you fully enjoy you. Look, if you read about NTG, then you will not say same as you fully George we are. But let me tell you what the N said, what the NTG said, what National Transitional Government. If you read about 2003, when people went to Ghana, then you will not say, oh, people fully George we are. The reason why you see our people go down in the country before war, is because of the embrace peace, because they do power sharing. That's how you see Julie Bryan came into power. So when you can read, please go and read it. Say, you're not putting George we are because George we are is coming to the president level 2029. That's the way you say, oh, because of what Boga doing. What Boga doing? What Boga doing to be shooting live bullet all around for people to be bossing people, killing people out like that. What Boga doing to be stealing our money, traveling all around. What Boga probably want to do? None of our people say much no for it. My brother tells you, thank you for the show. Continue the show, man. Thank you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Sanjo.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Calling from Fiamma USA. Hello.
You are on the end.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Your honor for that the president never do nothing and everybody having a competition. They set their power. So, Sanjo, I will tell someone on the power. You know the party I came from. Sanjo, who can bet the development going to the people, to the southeast. You know the party of Joboga will go back, the next president for the republic. You will join the party of Joboga, now come to be a president for the republic. And could nobody have gone. And today, we're coming in there. And to the rest of the laboratory, Sanjo, Joboga, go to my son because my country is what I come for. Go down again, come back. Go grand Chile, where can you papa to the west open up? They try to find you. Let's start to watch more para. But you call the show the topic. But the tennis private, moon in park on it. And after do a boy line, I'm a cause on your.
All right, Chief. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Andrew.
Yeah, this is Sam Andrews. Call your name and state what you want to say.
Okay. I'm Mr. Jackson calling from Cuba. You know, the United Party, they make some out of Jabby sitting on our porch and be thinking about the thing while I'll be packing the things. Now, it get ready storing some of mine. And we fight out with the season. Your time to get a sister, you give it up. The way Joey give it up. It was fun enough. I didn't give it up to it. It was fun enough. But why would you about our country? The other men are coming back. They are gone. No. I'm not doing it. Great people now are ahead of them before. And they left. And they come, so they must think too. We can't with the nonsense in this country. Just talking one thing. Then when the first say the law, they be the law, and they can't go by the law. All those things there, it can bring bad things in this country. And not fair that up. I'd rather just struggling nation. So we don't got to make ourselves be divided. Yeah, but there's so much in this country. You can't really move from there. What did Joe Boga want again? Go already not gain the opportunity. We have set a record to part of the liberal president list. There wasn't he's an editor. You could just people say no.
All right, Chief.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Andrew. Thank you for the show.
All right. Hello.
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 How are you, Papa?
Yeah, fine. Doing good.
Okay, I've been a silent listener for years upon years, days upon years. I tell God, thank you for you. For that God bless you people, Sam Andrew. That God bless you people, bro. We are saying that God bless you people, teacher. I don't know what to say. My according to the attorney, I'm concerned.
If Joseph Parker know that he can wear briefs, we can
No, don't go that route. Just state your issue.
No, you know, because it's too much now.
No,
It's
don't
too
put
much.
on anger. Just state
We
the
are there on
issue.
silence there to know. Let Joseph Parker be careful. Now you want to know how to go in the bush. Now you want to know how to put people in the bush. I'm an older person. I am 59 years of age. If Joseph Parker play with us, or wear bomber in the street, we the old people, we are marching to them, we'll get in the street on him. We'll get in the street on him. So let him be careful. Put him for the talking about the thing on air. Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah, just relax yourself. Don't get vexed. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Lloyd D. Johnson, Citizen by Loyalty, and I'm joining from my Popo community, number 11, Quebec community. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, we're not rushing these people waiting for 2029. No, some of all we looking at radio go passing around here with sharing. Let the time come. Let the time come. That time they will know how you can really hold boss. The money they enjoy will get better in their more. We eat this number 11 years. What they passing we carry, just in that free thing, just looking at him. Let the time come. Like will make it all of open tap. Let the time come. And they say the Christian they want live for 100 years. Let the time come. Thank you.
All right. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Edmond Carr, and I'm the visually impaired of the pushing for the return of the president. We are 2029. We are fully aware of Philip Brown read up, and some of his read up, he do have a lot of mistakes in it. The one is the $16 billion saga. He started it, and 2 weeks, I think 3 weeks ago, he did a read up, and he put President we are on top of Waka according to his election was held. And he concluded that the opposition had won the propaganda war against the Unity Party. So this one that he just put it up, I hope that is not a cover up that he tried to cover up for them. Because the only strange thing he's saying over there is some of the law that he's quoting over there. My first time hearing about low law. But everything he's saying over there, these are things that we have been talking about time, we're all number, and we are on top of our game. But if anybody thinks they can go underwater to use somebody to send fear in CDC past official or CDC members that will cause us to be silent, that is a charade. That is a free joke. Okay? We are aware because those laws that he is quoting is when associated with tyrannical leadership, dictatorship. So if that's what Baka want to bring here, then he should be prepared to face it. You should be prepared to face it. Where you are doing in Nima County, another one happening in Grand Jura County, another one happening in Bon County, another one happening in Lofa County. Do you have the capacity? The tell you said now somebody going to be moving to Broad Street to go process to executive mansion? No, we are going to be in our district. So if we can come from district 1, come to district 5, the damage is done. We can say to them, we are prepared. We are meeting too. The same way they are meeting about our officials, we are meeting and we have said it. And you will win the election, let it be clear that you win the election will give it to you. But if you think that you will bring the hands of the Liberian people to take the result, well assured that there will be interim arrangement. We are also saying that today. We're not hiding it. We're not hiding our identity. Okay? So let me keep writing. This one is a cover up. And nobody not going to silence Samuel 12. You've been chasing him for 3 years. You're going to start chasing another official for another 3 years. Then we are into the election time. Then when you persecute them, you arrest Samuel 12, put him in jail. He will write. He will give it to us. We will publish it. He will not keep started. He will keep up balancing them because of the heat that he is giving to their current finance minister. That is the reason why they have made him to come up with a write-off so that Samuel 12 can be silent. He should not be able to speak up. But let him speak up.
All right.
We are here. We will stand today. Thank you.
Hello. 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 Women's Line, you on the air. You on the air. You on the air, madam. Okay. So let's have this break. Let's take this break. Okay, the Women's Line, you're not answering. Let's have this break, then we go home. this break.
They are shooting come on. You see that? You see that? They are shooting. You see that? You see that? You see what they do? You see what they do? You see what they do? You see it? I don't want to let yeah. Shoot. You see that? You see what this together doing? They can't shoot it up. They can't the pass. Oh, man, the other. No, I'm the one going live. I see photo of the protest. I'm the one going live. I'm going live. Now, I can't let. You see what I did? You see that? You see what I do? You see what I do? You see it? You see that? They will not shoot. You see that? You see what the stage together doing? They should be on. They can't the pass. Oh, man, the other. I see photo of the protest.
Serious, but funny. They're just the sound. I imagine in 1990. These are the sounds we were hearing 1990. And we were watching the guides release the bullets like we sit to watch movies today. We saw it live. Yeah. We're standing, looking at them. Yeah, let's go, move. about that go. But listen, these guys, they will leave nothing at preventing WEA from 2029. So let's go. WEA returns to the presidency 2029. They don't like to hear it. Well, they said yes, and we saying ours. They said George Weah would not return to the presidency 2029. And I have given you people the definition of that in a political context. It simply means we will do everything, or they will do everything from their political, military perspective to ensure that it does not happen. It simply means prevent. Take it or leave it. When a government of the day, the certain government say, this man would never return to the presidency, they're not saying he does not have the ability. They're telling you, we have the ability, we have everything, we will use it against him. If it means that the guns will come outside, the guns will bring the guns outside. So, may I address this? People have always said this. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not a weakness. One of the call-outs or two of the call-outs, and in the past, people have been venting their anger, their vexation. That which you can do, don't say it. The former president told you people, nobody should risk their life for him. Nobody should swear for him, and on and on. And he is 1,000,000,000% right. If you think your anger should lead you into something, and you think you're doing it on behalf of George Weah, when you die, you finish. Politics does not go with anger. Politics goes with the issues. Politics is about the issues, it's about policy. You intellectualize. Nothing hurts your opponent than when you can look in your opponent's face and tell him or her boldly what it's it. You become weak in the eyes of your opponent when you show anger, vexation, madness, emotion. Those are your weaknesses that the opponent will capture and used against you. But when you can look in the opponent's face and say, this would not happen, I challenge you that you will ever do this, your opponent will know that you are fortified, you are ready. Why people are entitled to their anger, how they express it, but I've always tried to advise. You don't impute anger in politics. It will work against you. It's just like a person who is overly vexed and you're going against a person who is normal. That person is already strength, and you have given out most part of your strength to anger. So you have no clear definition or plan how to approach your enemy. You rushing with anger is going to put you into a danger. You don't impute anger. You don't get vexed, or you have the reason to get vexed. You have every reason to get vexed, yes, but let your vexation go along with the issue. Nobody is George Weah than George Weah himself. George Weah does not want anybody to get hurt. He does not want anybody to die. George Weah needs everybody on board 2029. And no better time to start getting yourself ready for 2029 than now. How you do that? Drop anger, drop vexation, drop malice, drop grudge, drop emotion, and just stick to the issue. Why they behind us? Why they disagree with what they get vexed? Why the plan? We're not insulting. We're not showing any madness. We only discussing the issues. Discussing. What did they say? They said truth hurts. The truth is just like a razor blade. The truth is just like a razor blade. It's just like, or even more than the blade the surgeons use in the hospital to tear the skin. Blade, the razor blade, it goes in the flesh in a twinkling of an eye. It goes deep. The blade that they use to open the human being when they're ready for operation, very sharp, very sharp. Once it lands on the skin, it opens the skin. That is exactly how truth looks. When you tell the person with every boldness, it goes into the person's soul, marrow, bone, spirit. It stirs them up. Don't be afraid. Your vexation will not help you. Your vexation will only create a psychological breakdown for you. You will be worrying, be thinking, and just be saying things. We boldly face President Boakai and all of his officials as they boldly face us. They said former President Weah will not return to the presidency 2029. They entitled to their opinion. We said ours, and we maintain that George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. We don't have to curse them. Whatever they say against George Weah, we don't have to curse. We don't have to show any anger. We only need to tell them the truth. As they put out theirs, we put ours out. Simple. We do it with boldness. So, here is it. Silence does not mean weakness. Former President George Weah is not silent. And former President George Weah will not be unnecessarily radical as people want him to be. He hasn't been that way, and he will not change his nature to satisfy anybody. If you have known over the years, before coming to the presidency, the character George Weah, and in the presidency, you will not be talking today that George Weah is silent. Some people write and say he's weak. Yes, former President George Weah is silent as a compliment as long as he is doing what is right. He is weak. It is understood as a compliment as long as he is taking the right decisions. He doesn't have to be a radical, neither radicalize the atmosphere or militarize the atmosphere. Some of you who want to risk your life, under no condition you can risk your life. Let me say it this way: assume that former President Weah just say something, come out. Some of you who are, you will not. You will not, under no condition. You'll be thinking that they will do something to you. You don't want to get hurt. So you stop saying that thing, oh, we're ready, we go, we die for this, that. Nobody, George, we ain't want you to die. If you want to die, let it be on different team, or not be because of CDC. It should not be because of George Weah. You start making those statements. They're not right. Just stick to the issue. The issues are coming up. I have said this thing a couple of times to you people, seditions. The people feel that you quit to get jitter. You quit to get uneasy when you hear something. That way, they see it as a weakness to get you upset. You're not showing any strong position. That's why they will say, oh, because you're not in power, so you vex. Just relax yourself. Nobody can determine anything of a person. Everybody is entitled to a single vote. President Boakai is entitled to one vote. Former President George Weah is entitled to one vote. Sam Andrews is entitled to one vote. Tajikistan is entitled to one vote. Nesepo entitled to 1 vote, or everybody entitled to 1 vote. All Unity Party people entitled to 1 vote. All CDC people entitled to 1 vote. Nobody. President Bouaga will not vote. He will not put 2 votes there. Yombly will not put 3 votes. Jeremiah Kun will not put 5 votes. Regime Speaker will not put 10 votes. That 1 vote. We are a little over 5.4, 5.2, 5.3 million people. And George Weah is the strength of all the people in the race. You have the advantage. It is working in your favor, but as seditians, not all of you, those ones who quit to get jitter, you think what they are saying, it is the reality. And you're not looking at your leader. Your understanding of a leader too, as the other people will think on the other side, should be talking every now and then. Former President Weah talks when it is necessary. He speaks when the need be. None of you can tell us that you have not heard the former president spoken on issues here nationally. He speaks when it is necessary for him to speak. It is not in no given way, since God created the world, that if you are a leader, you just talk. Everything you talk inside. That's former President George Weah nature right there. He talks when it is necessary for him to talk. He gave his position when it is necessary, and he knows the medium by which. He doesn't have to be talking all over the place. When he ready, he gets on his Facebook page or his Twitter page and give a position. He has too many options. He can instruct his chief of staff in his office to give a position. It is the same George Weah who is speaking. He doesn't have to come call a news conference with all the journalists there around and talking, because that's what some of you want to see. Then you say George Weah talking. Moreover, wisdom-driven leader does his work behind the scene. Wisdom-driven, futuristic leader does his work behind the scene. Former President George Weah is not a radical. So he doesn't have to radicalize the atmosphere. He has always positioned everything on keeping the country stable, enhancing the peace and stability of this country. It would take former President George Weah nothing in a twinkling of an eye to upset this country. But what will it profit him? Why would he want to do that? The issues that are unfolding, as far as he is concerned, there are issues that he can handle from a party perspective, from a standard bearer perspective, from a former president perspective. Does he need to go out and be calling people or agitating or creating agitation? Then you know that the former President Weah does not need to talk in anything. He only needs to do what is right from his office, and that is exactly how he's doing it. And you see the change that is taking place. It is not who talks and talks loud and scream and shout and condemn and challenge is a leader. Former President George Weah is a leader. The reason why you're saying that he's weak, because just as people shout and scream every day, you people have been schooled by their unschooled or misleading school. Hearing them every day shouting on Facebook, saying this, saying that, so you want him to be the same. How can you be living and you don't know your master? How can you? One of the great characteristics of the disciple is to master his master. That means is to know your master good. Is to know your master good. By now, all of you should know that is George Weah Ready. That is his nature. He's not a Confucianist. He's not an agitator. He's not a radical. He's not an extremist. Nothing of those. The other side of him is what a leader is. Takes time to address issues, concerned about the peace and stability of this country, the security of it, and the well-being of everybody. What your one former president we had to do, he would not do it. Because you know why? If anything here, if things just go helter-skelter, everybody will be affected. The former president will be affected too. He's in a country. Former president we does not have anywhere better to live than here. That's why he here in the country. Some of the people you consider how they call them, highly educated politicians, the days they die. What happened after election? They go sit down in white men home. Even prior to the election, they sit down in white men home when the year election they come. By the time they hear that small thing ready to happen or they want happening, they take their passport and everything. They go to the airport. They go. Former president we stays here. He's in the country. The only time you hear that former president we is out of the country when he has an assignment, an engagement. But he stays in the country. He is one of any Liberian in this country. He isn't different. He has not seen himself as different from any Liberian in this country. He gets himself involved with people's condition. That means the hurts and pains that people go through from different situations. He imagines himself inside. He imagines himself when he was struggling. So he empathizes with people. And that is why he don't want anything funny to happen in this country. He knows exactly what people are going through. He is aware of the demolitions all over the place. He's aware of the internal displacements. There are things that he's doing behind the scene, helping people, but you are not hearing in the media because he's not that type to get attention. There are things that he's doing politically from a leadership perspective, but you will not hear it in the public. There are things that he's doing to get CDC more stronger than it was in opposition, but you will not hear it because that is not his nature. His silence does not mean that he's silent. No, it only means that he's working. But you think that he should be reporting to you every day. You should know the person you have. You should master your leader. Former President Weah does not need to talk. Just anyway, anyhow, when the need be, he will talk. That's why when the need be, and you can hear him, who here have not heard President Weah talk? When he came into the country, you saw the atmosphere. What did he do? Did he not talk? He did. He did. He spoke to the issue. Since then, what did you see the government do? The government restrained itself. And there are several I can share with you. You're not following your own leader. So if they talk about it, then we are more as Joseph Boaga, Lily May, you test it, you will see what will happen. That kind of thing I want? No. That's not how it works. The things that former president we are settled in this country, if that man was somebody who likes attention, who is bothful, he will be in the media every day, every day, every day. Like your politicians, when they wake up in the morning, they speak to somebody on social media. Minister XYZ spoke this way. Then all the online media carrying it. The next day, some kind of radio station will call that person on that radio station explaining. President Weah will not be like that. He's not that person. He's doing what is right from his reasoning alongside his team. He's working with a whole team. He has a team with him. Who told you all of these things that are happening? He's not aware. Who told you that he's not? Legal issue, he has his legal team that are responsible for that. Economic issues, he has the economists around him that are responsible for that. He is surrounded by specialists, experts in different disciplines of life. When you're not talking, it doesn't say you are weak. No, you have to look at that definition of weakness. So, why? On this, I ask a simple question. I ask. Let me just share that with you, and then we are. It's the weekend. Thank you all. So I ask Google to help me, not to use my own definition, my own experience, but to get a neutral perspective. So I did ask the question like this: is silence a weakness for any leader? That's the question I asked. Is silence a weakness for any leaders? Hear what they said. They gave me a piece. It said, silence is generally considered a strategic tool rather than an inherent weakness in leader or leadership. Listen again. Silence is generally considered a strategic tool rather than inherent weakness of leader or leadership. If you're not responding, does it mean you're not aware? Does it mean you're not fully engaged, fully involved? Must you be yelling and screaming all over the place, calling journalists every 2-3 days? You have press conference, be in the media? No. Far-sighted leaders, they walk off public attention. They get things said or things faced. They do just everything off public attention. Those ones that you hear in the media, you read in the media, you talk about, you see on social media, are the ones that you call leaders. Because by your definition of leader, one must scream, shout, yell in the media all of the time. George Weah, former president, Republic of Liberia, a global icon, standard bearer of the Congress for Democratic Change, returns to the presidency 2029. We are ensuring that it aids working. Everything is planned. They have their plan, we have ours. They put forth theirs, we counter. We put forth ours, they counter. That's intellectualism. That's democratic politics. That's democratic intellectualism. We're not going to impute anger. That's why I've always told you people, just keep your calm. Just go to the issue. Go to the issue. When you're showing vexation, anger, and they'll say, okay, good. So let's hit them more. Because they know that your weakness. You see how, Israel comes in the morning, raises the issue. You see what happened? Unity Party people coming on. They coming on to disagree. I come in the afternoon, raise the issue. They come on, they vex. They come on, they say, oh, you're fooling George Weah. You're doing this. Why? Because the impact. Then it becomes in the evening. And add it up. They leave their various stations, they turn in, listening to AB, they saying all kinds of things. They take telephone to call. That's the impact that what you do when you hitting. It's just like the razor blade or the material they use in the surgery room to cut. That's how it looks. It goes into their soul, bone, marrow, flesh, skin. But when you show anger, vexation, you're shouting and screaming, oh, we did it. Oh, we did it. The boss say, oh, okay, good. We hit them more. I see you. Yeah, thanks for the time from Monday to Friday. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for the support, the pieces of advice, the friendship, every other thing. We appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. We're going into the weekend. FC Barcelona is on Sunday at 3:15. We'll recover. The 3 points that we lost, we'll get it back. We will win on Sunday. Real Madrid will fall on Saturday. Then it will be 2 points between us. Real Madrid next game, a game. They will fall. Then we go on to win. Okay. Edwin Hoff, thank you. Yeah, he said it is called scalpel. All right. And I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Then the one they use, the blade they used to. Yeah. By the time you put it on the skin, yeah, that's how it looks. So, yeah, Real Madrid will drop 6 points and Barcelona will win. And then we'll go back on the top of the table. It is a foregone conclusion. Thank you all for the support. If God permits, we're back on Monday. Before then, the news is on at 6 o'clock. Join us for that, King's Newsroom. And then at 6:50, Isiaka Sharif and Josephine Pello Johnson are in with CDC Hour. And then at 8 o'clock, Newton Tokpa and the Diaspora team, with Face the Issues. Until then, this is how we go home.
You see that? Yeah, shooting. You see that? You see that? You see what that's what I do? You see what I do? You see what I do? You see it? You guys, that's what I do. You see what I do? You see what I do? You see it?
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5, just for you.
The ABC gain a year. Yes, the ABC that will let in our